Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are obviously missing something, the all-important brows. So we're going to talk about how I do my brows, the steps that I take, the products that I use to create my full glam brows, as I like to call them. I am not a professional by any means. This is just the way that I choose to do my brows. So if this is something that you are interested in, please stick around and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about placement of the brows. Now, a few years ago, I went to a master class by Makeup by Mario, and Anastasia of Beverly Hills was there, the queen herself of brows, and I learned a few tips and tricks from her as to placement of the brows. So the easiest way to find where you want to begin, where your arch is, and then where you want to end your brow is this little trick right here. So I take a brow pencil or anything, a straight object that you have, and you're going to place it up against the side of your nose here. This is where you want to start your brow here. Now you're going to leave it up against the side of your nose and you're just going to tilt it here. That's the arch. Tilt it a little bit more. I've got to pick mine up because of my lashes. And then that will be the tail of your brow right there. So that is the guide that you want to follow to start drawing your brows on. Now there are many different products that you can use to do your brows. These are the products that I choose to use that work best for me. I do go in with a brow pencil. This is the Precisely My Brow by Benefit. It's in the color 3.5. Now there are many colors that you can choose from. Just make sure that you want to choose a color that is 2 shades darker than your natural hair color. I don't know what my natural hair color is. I haven't seen it in probably 20 years, but I assume it's a dark brown, so that's what we're going to go with. This one has a roll-up tip on this end, and it also has a spoolie on this end to kind of help brush those brows up. Next, I will go in with a brow powder. You can also use a eyeshadow if you want to. These are by Tamnova. There's 2 different colors. I use the darker color called Mink. As you can tell, it is well loved. Last, I will go in with a brow gel or a brow setter. This is a gel. It does have a tint to it. This is also by Benefit. And then I will go in and use this, but just make sure that you realize that when you buy one, some of them have a tint to them and some of them are clear. And I also like to use one of my favorite products that I've just discovered. This is by Anastasia. This is the Brow Freeze. It is a clear gel that I put in my brows after I get done to make sure that they don't move. So with these products, let's go ahead and get started on how I do my brows. Okay, so one of my most important tools that I like is the spoolie. I also have this brush. This is by Hank and Henry, and this is one of my favorite brushes ever. It's got a spoolie on the end, then it also has an angled brush on this end. So you get like the 2-for-1. That's what I like, so I won't have to keep using the spoolie on my brow pencil. So we're going to go in and we're just going to brush the brows up with the spoolie, just like that. Get them in the direction that you want them to go. Now I'm going to take my brow pencil and we're going to go in with a very light hand. So when you start learning how to do your brows, it's very important your placement of your hand on the brow pencil. So if you hold towards the back, you're going to have much more movement and be able to do lighter strokes. If you hold close to the front, you're not going to have much as flexibility that you need, and the strokes and the outline will tend to be harsher. So just be aware of that and practice on holding your pencil back further. So we're going to start right here at the front and we're just going to do light strokes, and we're going to outline the bottom of the brow all the way to the end. All right, now that I've got my brow underline at the bottom, what I like to do is take this line here and draw it closer out towards the temple. It's going to give you that more lifted look. You have to be careful, especially if you're a little bit older, not to draw the rainbow brows or the comma brows, as I like to call them, one that kind of goes in an arch, because if it's in an arch this way, it has a tendency to pull your face down, and we don't need nothing pulling our face down, okay? So we're going to draw the end of the brow out towards the temple to give more of a lifted look. So light hands, drawing it out towards the temple. Just like that. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing on the top. We're going to outline the top, light strokes, all the way to right there where the arch is going to be. Now you just want to be careful when you start to do this part that it doesn't get too pointy. So you don't have a point here and then it drops, because that's going to give you a really harsh brow and almost has a tendency to make you look mad or mean. And we want to try to stay away from that. So you want to round it out just a little bit. So once we get here, we want to round it and pull it to where it meets the end of the other brow. Just like that. And now we're going to go in and fill it in with our brow powder. All right, so this is where our angled brush comes in. So now I'm going to go in with that brow powder and I'm going to mix both of them and I'm going to start filling in the brow. I like to leave the front of the brow a little bit lighter or blank at the beginning because I like the front of the brow to be a little more ombre, so lighter in the front and darker on the tail. So we're just going to take this and just start filling in the brow. All right, so now that we've got the brow mostly filled in, we're going to go in on the front part. I don't usually put any more product on my brush. I like to leave it just the way it is. And I'm going to take the brush and do upward motions, like upward flicking motions. Let me do a little bit more on the front right there, then we'll go up. So we're going to start just kind of flicking up in the front, just like that, and filling in that spot at the front where it's a little bit lighter. Then I like to take my spoolie and go in and brush it. That way, sometimes if you get a little too harsh in the front, this little trick can kind of help so it doesn't look so harsh, gives it more of that ombre effect. All right, so now that we've got that brow done, we're going to go in and set it because we don't want it to move. So I like to use these disposable spoolies that you can get probably at CVS, Walgreens. A lot of makeup artists use those, like if they're doing mascara on their clients, where they can throw these away. And I like to be able to toss mine away because they get a little sticky. So I'm going to go in with the brow gel. This takes a little bit of practice, so don't get frustrated. You want to have a light hand because it can have a tendency to wipe some of the brow powder off that you just put on there, and we don't want that. So we're just going to do upward strokes here. And the further back we go, we're going to kind of go in the direction of the brow. Just like that. All right, so I'm going to jump off camera and I'm going to go ahead and do the other brow and I will be back. All right, guys, there you have it. Both of the brows done. What a transformation from no brows to brows. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys can pick up some tips and tricks off of the things that I do. The way I do my brows and the products I use will also be listed down below in the info box. So let me know if there's something else you want to see. We want to do a updated full glam foundation. I think that might be coming. How I do my wing liner, anything like that, just let me know in the comments. Please make sure that you subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It always helps my channel out. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Did you record? Because you better. Because I ain't doing this again. Third time, people. Third time's a charm. We're going to make this happen.